Music festivals are meant to be a celebration of life, music and community, but sometimes they can turn into a nightmare. In recent years, several music festivals have been marred by tragic and disturbing deaths that have left both the attendees and their families shaken. The excitement and joy of these events can quickly turn to horror, leaving a lasting impact on all involved. Here are 5 of the most disturbing deaths at music festivals that will leave you stunned and searching for answers. Aaron Joel Mitchell was a 41-year-old construction worker from Oklahoma who'd always been drawn to adventure and outdoor events. He was married and had a loving family, but he also had a passion for exploring new experiences. In the summer of 2017, he decided to attend the Burning Man Festival in Nevada's Black Rock Desert for the first time. He'd heard about the festival's unique blend of art, music, and self-expression, and was excited to experience it firsthand. In the days leading up to the festival, Mitchell was in high spirits. He had attended a solar eclipse festival a few weeks before and was eager to continue his summer of adventure. His friends described him as a nature-loving athlete who cared about his health and was always looking for the next exciting adventure. On August 27, 2017, Mitchell and his friends arrived at the Black Rock Desert and were eager to set up camp and start their Burning Man experience. The festival was already in full swing, with thousands of participants gathering to celebrate art, music, and self-expression. Over the next few days, Mitchell and his friends got deeply involved in the festival, attending concerts, visiting art sites, and participating in workshops. Mitchell was surrounded by like-minded individuals who shared his passion for adventure and creativity. As the festival reached its climax, Mitchell and his friends gathered around the iconic Burning Man effigy, a 60-foot-tall wooden structure that would soon be set ablaze. The crowd was hyped, and the air was filled with anticipation. On the night of September 2nd, 2017, Mitchell broke through 2 layers of security and ran towards the fire. Witnesses describe him as running in different directions all at once to evade pursuers before performing a front flip into the flames. Firefighters attempted to rescue him, but the structure's top had collapsed on him as he jumped in. Mitchell was then pulled from the flames and airlifted to the University of California, Davis Firefighters Burn Institute Regional Burn Center. Despite efforts to save him, Mitchell's condition was critical, with severe burns covering his body. In the hours following the incident, Mitchell's friends and family were still in shock, trying to make sense of what had happened. Investigation into his death revealed that he had not been under the influence of drugs or alcohol. His mother also reported that days before he left for the festival, he had been in good mental health and had not shown any signs of distress. The Burning Man community was also in shock, with organizers canceling scheduled burns but still proceeding with the final temple burn. Emotional support teams were made available to participants and staff who were struggling to come to terms with what had happened right before their eyes. Mitchell had been wearing only shorts and a water bottle strap when he ran into the fire. He'd been barely clothed, and his actions had been quick and deliberate. The firefighters who attempted to rescue him had also been unable to reach him in time, and the collapse of the structure had further made it impossible to save him. As the investigation continued, authorities learned more about Mitchell's background and his experiences leading up to the festival. They spoke with his friends and family, trying to understand what had led him to take such a drastic and fatal action. Mitchell's loved ones remembered him as a happy and adventurous person who had been drawn to the festival's spirit of creativity and self-expression, and as a result, his death was a shock to everyone who knew him. Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival was a captivating annual music event that took over Houston's NRG Park. This high-energy-filled festival united music fans and Travis Scott enthusiasts for a weekend of epic performances, immersive experiences, and top-notch artistry. Ezra Blount, a 9-year-old boy from Dallas, Texas, was a huge fan of Travis Scott's music. He had been looking forward to attending the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston with his father, Treston Blount, for weeks. On November 5th, 2021, they finally arrived at the festival grounds, excited to see Travis Scott perform live. As the countdown to Scott's performance began, Treston lifted Ezra onto his shoulders, hoping to give him a better view. They stood near the back of the crowd, thinking it would be a safer spot. But as Scott took the stage, the crowd rushed forward, causing a dangerous crush and stampede. Due to this sudden surge, Treston lost consciousness, and when he finally woke up, he realized that Ezra was missing. Panic set in as Treston frantically searched for his son. He rushed to the on-site medic tents and several hospitals, desperate to find Ezra, all to no avail. Eventually, he filed a police report and received a message from an officer with a picture of his boy. At the hospital, Treston discovered that Ezra had suffered severe damage to his brain, kidneys, and liver. He had been kicked, stepped on, and trampled, nearly crushed to death. Ezra's family was devastated by the news. In the days that followed, Ezra's condition remained critical. He was placed in a medically induced coma, fighting for his life. The family held a vigil, praying for his recovery. But one Sunday, 10 days after the incident, Ezra's condition took a turn for the worse. The family's attorney stated that Ezra's death was a direct result of the defendant's negligence and that they would hold them accountable. The lawsuit claimed that the defendants had failed to provide a safe environment for concertgoers, despite knowing the risks associated with large crowds. As the investigation into the incident continued, more details emerged about the lack of safety measures in place at the festival. It became clear that the tragedy was preventable and that the defendants had failed to take necessary steps to protect the attendees, as Ezra was not the only victim of this misfortune. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, with people screaming and trying to escape the crush. Many reported seeing festival staff and security standing by, doing nothing to help. It was also revealed that the festival had not provided adequate training to its staff, and that there were not enough medical personnel on site. The incident raised questions about the responsibility of event organizers and performers to ensure the safety of their audience. The final investigation revealed that the festival had a history of safety issues, and there had been reports of overcrowding and inadequate security at previous events. It was also reported that Travis Scott had continued to perform for over 30 minutes after the crowd surge began, despite being aware of the danger. This decision was widely criticized, with many calling for Scott to take responsibility for his role in the tragedy. In response to the tragedy, Travis Scott released a statement, expressing devastation over the events of that night and offering prayers for the families and all those negatively affected by the Astroworld Festival. He also announced plans to cover funeral costs, provide further aid to affected individuals, and refund all concertgoers and ticket holders. Yet despite these efforts, the tragic loss of young Ezra Blunt's life could not be undone, leaving his family in irreparable grief. Alicia Louise Capicchio was born on December 15, 1984, in Knoxville, Tennessee, to Michael Capicchio and Beth Underwood Capicchio. She grew up with a love for nature, skiing, hiking, traveling, and animals. Alicia's passion for art was evident from a young age, and she went on to study design and anthropology at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, graduating in 2008. After college, Alicia moved to Jackson, Wyoming, where she worked as the assistant director at Rare Gallery of Fine Arts. She was not only passionate about art, but also dedicated to her community. She was involved with various organizations, including Bike and Build, Pedaling for Affordable Housing, AmeriCorps, and Team in Training Triathlon Group. In the days leading up to the Burning Man Festival, Alicia was filled with excitement and anticipation. She had attended the event several times before being drawn to its creative and adventurous spirit. The festival that year, held in Nevada's Black Rock Desert, promised to be just as exciting. One of the unique features of the Burning Man Festival is its temporary city, Black Rock City, where attendees gather for the festival. To ensure safety and community interaction, cars are not allowed within the city, and attendees rely on bicycles, foot travel, and designated shuttle buses like the Shagadelica to get around. On August 28, 2014, Alicia arrived at the festival grounds, eager to immerse herself in the art, music, and community that Burning Man had to offer. She spent the day exploring the festival grounds, marveling at the elaborate art installations, and enjoying the music and performances. As the festivities continued, Alicia made her way to the Shagadelica, a fur-covered party bus that was making its way through the crowded festival grounds. The bus was a popular attraction at the festival, known for its elaborate decorations and lively atmosphere. It is unclear whether Alicia had consumed alcohol or drugs during the festival, but Burning Man has a reputation for excess in both areas. Regardless, she was swept up in the energy of the moment, dancing and laughing with the other passengers as the bus made its way through the festival grounds. But as the night wore on, she began to feel a sense of unease. The bus was moving faster than she had expected, and the crowd was growing more and more rowdy. Tragedy struck when Alicia fell from the bus and was run over by its wheels. Despite the efforts of the medical staff, she succumbed to her injuries and passed away. Witnesses reported that Alicia might have been riding on the double-decker bus before falling under its wheels and being run over. The exact circumstances of the accident are still unclear, but it is believed that a combination of factors contributed to the tragedy, including the bus's speed, the crowded conditions, and the difficulty of navigating the festival grounds at night. Alicia's family and friends were left to pick up the pieces and try to make sense of the tragedy that had occurred. They remembered her as a bright and adventurous spirit who had touched the lives of everyone she met. A funeral mass was held in honor of Alicia at Our Lady of the Rosary Catholic Church on September 1, 2014, with Father Al Gondek officiating. Her family received friends and sympathizers the previous day at Davidson Funeral Home in Lexington and at home following the Mass. The Burning Man community also came together to mourn Alicia's passing and celebrate her life. She was remembered for her passion for hiking, art and nature, which was evident in her social media profiles. As the day of the popular Coachella Festival approached in April 2019, the Empire Polo Club buzzed with activity. Stagehands and riggers worked tirelessly to set up the stages and ensure everything was in place for the big event. Christopher Griffin, a seasoned stagehand and lead rigger, was among them. With over 20 years of experience, Griffin knew every inch of the venue and was an invaluable asset to Golden Voice, the festival's production company. His colleagues described him as a dedicated and passionate individual who always put the safety of others first. On the morning of April 6th, Griffin was assigned the task of installing rigging equipment on the main stage. At around 9:26 a.m., eyewitnesses reported hearing a loud noise and seeing Griffin falling from the scaffolding. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, arriving around 9:30 a.m. Griffin was found lying on the ground near the stage, having fallen approximately 60 feet from the scaffolding. Despite the quick response, he was pronounced dead at the scene. Griffin was wearing a harness at the time of the incident, but was not wearing a lanyard or tie-off to prevent a fall. The festival community was in shock, struggling to come to terms with the loss of a beloved colleague and friend. Golden Voice released a statement describing Griffin as a friend and family member, and acknowledging his dedication and contributions to the festival's success over the years. As news of the accident spread, the California Occupational Safety and Health Administration launched an investigation into the incident. They found that Griffin's employer, Klieg Industries, had failed to ensure that proper safety protocols were in place. The investigation also revealed a lack of walking surfaces, no fall protection, and inadequate training. Klieg Industries faced fines and citations for their role in the accident, and was given 15 days to respond or contest the rulings. Griffin's death was a devastating loss to his family, friends, and colleagues. He was survived by his wife of 23 years, Samantha, and twin 14-year-old daughters. Griffin had worked on the setup for the Coachella Festival during its entire 20-year span, beginning his career in 1987 in the UK and Europe before settling in the US. His dedication to his work and his family was evident to all who knew him. Griffin's memory was honored through tributes and memorials. The festival continued, but the mood was dull and sober, with many paying tribute to Griffin's memory. In the days following the incident, the Coachella community found it hard to deal with the sudden loss. Stories about Griffin's life and his commitment to his work circulated among the festival staff and attendees. His friends and colleagues also shared memories of his kindness, professionalism, and the unwavering support he provided to everyone around him. The broader festival community, including fans, performers, and industry professionals, expressed their condolences and support for Griffin's family. Vigils and moments of silence were held during the festival, creating a space for collective mourning and reflection. In the aftermath of the incident, Golden Voice and other festival organizers vowed to enhance safety measures and protocols. The goal was to ensure that such a tragedy would not happen again, honoring Griffin's memory through improved safety standards and practices. On June 24, 2022, Stephanie Thorpe, a 32-year-old mother and teacher from Farnworth, attended the Restricted Forest Music Festival in Blackburn's Witton Park with her partner Carl Pendlebury and about 50 friends. The day began with a lively gathering at the Post Office Inn in Farnworth, where Stephanie enjoyed a couple of drinks with her friends before heading to the festival. The group was excited for a day filled with music and fun, eager to enjoy the summer festivities. Upon arriving at the festival around 1:30 p.m., Stephanie and Carl went to the VIP area to have a drink and relax before separating to explore the festival grounds. Carl saw Stephanie again around 5 p.m. on a hill area in the forest. At first, she seemed fine, enjoying the music and atmosphere. However, soon after, she started sweating profusely and shaking, which raised concern among her friends. Stephanie's childhood friend, Darcy Lomax, also saw her on the coach and later on the hill. Stephanie complained of feeling very hot and laid her head on Darcy's knee, seeking comfort. And despite the warm day, Stephanie's condition rapidly worsened. Her friends noticed her lips turning blue, a clear sign that something was seriously wrong. By 5:30 p.m., her friends realized they needed to get medical help immediately and took her to the medical tent. A paramedic, Claire Watts, was called to assist Stephanie, administering saline and a cannula in an attempt to stabilize her. Despite their best efforts, Stephanie remained unresponsive and her body temperature was dangerously high. The medical team worked tirelessly to help her, but her condition did not improve. Later, Dr. Stephanie Martin examined Stephanie's blood samples and found inactive breakdown products of cocaine and active components of ecstasy, also known as MDMA. The level of MDMA was critical, leading to multiple organ failure or serotonin syndrome, a potentially fatal condition. Dr. Martin explained that the combination of the festival environment and drug use can have severe effects on the body, even for those who are just trying to enjoy themselves. Senior coroner Dr. James Aidley also emphasized that Stephanie's death was accidental and not related to addiction. He pointed out that the hot weather and physical exertion, combined with the toxic effects of MDMA, created a deadly situation. He further stressed the importance of awareness about the dangers of drug use, especially in such high-energy environments like music festivals. Stephanie was rushed to the Royal Blackburn Hospital, where she was pronounced dead in the early hours of June 25, 2022. The medical cause of death was determined to be multiple organ failure due to the toxic effects of MDMA. The tragic news was shocking, and it left her family and friends devastated. Stephanie's friends and family remembered her as a lively, loving person who enjoyed dancing, socializing, and living life to the fullest. Her partner Carl also noted that she often got hot while dancing, but this time it was different. The combination of the festival environment, the high temperature, as well as the effects of ecstasy created a perfect storm that led to her untimely death. In response to Stephanie's passing, a GoFundMe campaign was launched by her friend Holly McLaughlin to support Carl and their baby boy, Alfie. The campaign quickly surpassed its goal, raising over £17,000 to help cover funeral costs and provide support for her family during this difficult time.